Hey, what's up to everybody? I'm the Godfather Soldiers of Slumming. The name of my topic tonight is called Confusion. It's called Chaos, Confusion, Cluster in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight. Will Elimination Chamber 2026 be good in 4 weeks? So much I have to say tonight. But before I do, I'm going to open up the show with a little bit of something. I'll open up the show with let's see, this song called Sun City. Yeah, Sun City by Artists United Against Apartheid. So stick around, right back. I'll be right back. Get the music playing. I'll be right back. Yep, Sun City, all you just heard. 1985 by Artists Against United Against Apartheid. You had all favorites 80s musicians and some celebrities in the music video and the song. Let's get down with tonight's show. Okay. Friday Night Smackdown kicks off with clips from the Royal Rumble. Live in the arena, we see undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Champion Drew McIntyre. His music hits and out he comes to the ring. As he's walking down, out comes Cody Rhodes, who hits him from behind. Who can blame him? Cost him the Royal Rumble match. Cody slams Drew into the ring post and into barricade. Out come WWE officials and Cody throws Drew's over the barricade. Drew begins to run away and gets back around the ramp. WWE officials stop Cody, and Cody gets in the ring. He grabs the microphone and tells Drew that things will never be the same. He says that Drew eliminated him from the Royal Rumble, a match he wasn't even in. Exactly. He says he cannot point to the WrestleMania sign. Cody says on Monday he saw two men that he respects, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, declare a championship match. As the biggest WWE fan, he was excited, but why was his name the first to come out of his mouth? Cody says everyone knows that WrestleMania knows what WrestleMania means to him and what he means to WrestleMania. He asks the fans what they want to talk about, and the fans cheer. He says he was born in this city, down the street. He says Arn Anderson, Manny Fernandez in the waiting room, his sister waiting for him, and to imagine his discomfort when he comes back to this city empty-handed. The fans chant, sing Cody, Cody Rhodes. He tells Drew that Drew was mad that he was the WWE champion, but his shame and his discomfort becomes Drew's downfall. He tells Drew that he won't make it to WrestleMania. Cody drops the microphone as his music hits. We cut to Kathy Kelly, who is backstage with Kiana James and Julia. James tells her that the tag team championships are just a stepping stone to Julia becoming a triple champion. Julia speaks in Japanese, and James says that the Royal Rumble was just a blip. Tonight they will win the tag team titles. She will win the Elimination Chamber and face the champion at WrestleMania. Cut to the ring as Io Sky's music hits, and out she comes with Rhea Ripley. Then we'll go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Nick Aldis is with Cody Rhodes backstage. WWE security are stopping Cody. Aldis tells him that the only way he can face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania is to win his Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week. Cody tells him his emotions are controlled and walks away. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Rhea Ripley with the reigning and Io Sky, the reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champions versus Julia Kiana James. The bell rings and we're underway. Rhea Ripley and Kiana James start the match. Rhea with a headlock, but Kiana James throws her to the ropes. Kiana James lifts Rhea up on her shoulders, but Rhea lands on her feet. Julia gets tagged in and Rhea pushes her. Julia tells her that she wants Io. Rhea tags Io into the match. Julia with a forearm followed by a kick. Julia with an armbar, she grabs Io, but Io to the ropes. But trips Julia up and she lands on a drop kick. Io with an armbar and she goes for a right hand, but Julia with Julia ducks and slams Io down into the mat. Julia runs towards Io, but Io with a kick to the face. Julia distracts the referee, and Kiana James hangs Io up onto the top rope. Kiana James is tagged in. She throws Io to the outside of the ring. Kiana James slams Io face first into the ring apron. Julia with a drop kick off the ring apron onto Io. Then go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Julia with a drop kick off the top rope onto Io. She goes for the cover, but Io kicks out. She throws Io into the corner, and Kiana James is tagged in. Julia goes for a knee, but Io moves out of the way, and Julia hits the ring turnbuckle. Kiana James goes for a running clothesline, but Io moves out of the way. Kiana falls to the outside of the ring. She gets back in, but Io with a spine buster. Rhea is tagged in, and she kicks Julia. Rhea with a clothesline onto Kiana James. Rhea with a drop kick onto Kiana James. She lifts Kiana James up, but Julia is tagged in. Rhea kicks her off the ring apron. Rhea with a kick onto Kiana James. Io with a suicide dive onto Julia. Rhea lifts Kiana James up on her shoulders and slams her face first onto the mat. Rhea goes for the riptide, but Kiana James lands on her feet and kicks her down. Io climbs to the top rope. Kiana James lifts Io up and slams her onto Rhea. Julia is tagged in. Kiana James with 401k, and Julia with the Rhea Dasher. She goes for the cover, but Rhea kicks out. Rhea with a headbutt onto Kiana James. Julia throws Rhea to the outside. Julia lifts Io up, but Io lands on her feet. Rhea to the roll, and she headbutts Julia. Rhea with a riptide. Io go with an over the moonsault. Rhea goes for cover and gets the pin. Winner still WWE Women's Tag Champions Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Eli Dragunov is walking backstage, and Miz stops him. Eli tells him to get out of his way. Miz tells him that sometimes you need to use your head and no one else does it better than him. He says he went to Aldous and the open challenge is closed. In comes Carmella Hayes and says that Eli deserves a title shot and it's his. Hayes tells Miz he's not getting a title shot. He's getting an ass whooping. Miz tells him no title tonight. Hayes better not miss. Hayes tells him he won't, and Miz walks away. Commercial. Hold on a second. Sorry about everyone. A little technical issue here. The bell rings. Here it is. Commercial break. Carmella Hayes versus The Miz. The bell rings are underway. Hayes with a springboard elbow off the second rope. Hayes tells to ropes, but Miz with an elbow to the face. He throws Hayes into the corner. Miz with a chop to the chest followed by the knee. He runs towards Hayes, but Hayes moves out of the way. Hayes places Miz on the second rope and he slams Miz onto the mat. He goes for a cover, but Miz kicks out. Hayes gets Miz in the corner and Hayes with right hands. Hayes with chops, he grabs Miz, but Miz throws Hayes to the ropes. Hayes goes for a springboard, but Miz kicks his legs and Hayes falls onto the mat. Miz with a clothesline, he goes for cover and Hayes kicks, but Hayes kicks out. Then we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Hayes with a face buster. He goes for the cover, but Miz kicks out. Miz rolls to the outside of the ring. Hayes with a splash over the top rope onto the Miz. Hayes throws Miz back into the ring. Hayes climbs up to the top rope and goes for his far splash, but Miz gets his knees up. He goes for a cover, but Hayes kicks out. Miz kicks with a kick. It kicks. He goes for a cover, but Hayes ducks. Hayes goes for a cover, but Miz kicks out. Hayes with a super kick. He goes for a cover, but Miz kicks out. Hayes runs towards Miz, but Miz catches him. He bounces him off the top rope and slams him to the mat. Onto the mat. Miz goes for a cover, but Hayes kicks out. Miz grabs Hayes, but Hayes goes for a first 48, which is reversed by Miz. He goes for a skull crusher from there, but Hayes rolls onto the mat and lands on first 48. He goes for a cover and gets the pin. Winner Carmella Hayes. We cut backstage, and Kathy Kelly is with Tiffany Stratton. He tells Kathy that she has a WrestleMania match and she will not let one bad match that ruin that. She will remind everyone why Smackdown runs on Tiffy time. Here comes Chelsea Green with Alba Fire. She tells Tiffany that no one cares about Tacky Time. They had Tiffany the Flyer, and that is all about Chelsea. Tiffany tells her it's not about Chelsea being on the headline. She should be her obituary because after that she is dead. Guess she doesn't like an insult. Too bad. Commercial break. Back from commercial, a video of Bo Dallas sitting on a rocking chair airs. He tells Soul that he took the lantern. And left him in the dark. He says Solo was scared of standing in the dark all by himself. He tells Solo that he holds up the light tight, hoping that it keeps everyone close, but it won't, because fear won't show up when everyone is together. Fear shows up when you're all alone. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Lash Legend with Nia Jax versus Nia Maho Jax versus Chelsea Green with Alba Fire versus Tiffany Stratton. The bell rings are underway. Green slaps them both and they both look at her. Lash Legend with right hands onto Green, Stratton to the ropes, but Legend catches her. Fire gets on the ring apron, but Legend hits Alba Fire with a spinning Stratton around. Stratton with a chop block. Green gets in the ring apron and Stratton to the ropes, knocking Green down. Stratton throws Legend to the outside of the ring. Stratton with a suicide dive onto both Legend and Nia Jax. Stratton throws Legend back into the ring. She goes for a standing moonsault. Stratton goes for a cover, but Green breaks it up. Green goes for a cover, but Stratton breaks it up. They argue in the ring, but in comes Legend. She runs to the ropes, but they clothesline her to the outside of the ring. Stratton with a right hand, and she throws Chelsea into the ropes. Chelsea hangs on Stratton and gets in the ring apron. Green slams Stratton onto the ring apron, and she falls to the outside of the ring. Green grabs the top rope and she lands in crossbody onto Stratton and Nia Jax. Legend with a big kick. Then we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Legend with a clothesline onto Green. She lifts Stratton up. She throws her onto Green. Legend with a splash, she goes for the cover, but they both kick out. The fans chant Chelsea, which is stupid. She gets up and kicks Legend in the face. Strand with an elbow to the face onto Green. Strand to the ropes, and she drop kicks Legend to the outside of the ring. Chelsea trips Stratton up. Chelsea climbs to the top rope, but Stratton with the right hand. Stratton climbs to the second rope, and she lands on a suplex. She rolls onto a slam onto the mat. She goes for a cover, but Legend breaks it up. Legend grabs Stratton, but Stratton gets into Legend's back. Legend throws Stratton onto the mat. She goes for a kick, but Stratton runs towards Legend. She catches Stratton and she slams her into the turnbuckle. Legend with a choke slam. She goes for a cover, but Stratton kicks out. Green is on the top rope. She goes coast to coast onto Legend. Green goes for the cover, but Nia Jax pulls Green to the outside. Fire pushes Nia, but Nia pushes Fire. Green with a right hand, Legend to the outside, and she hits Green with a right hand. Legend runs towards Green and Tiffany, but they throws her over the barricade. Nia pushes Alba down. Green throws Stratton into the ring. She goes for Prettier, but Stratton reverses. She slams Green onto the mat. Stratton with the prettiest moonsault ever. She goes for cover and gets the pin. Winner, Tiffany Stratton. Winner, Tiffany Stratton. We cut to Catherine Kelly backstage, who was backstage with Randy Orton. He tells her that he's not happy about his performance at the Royal Rumble, but not to make excuses. Those are dunning odds. So is the Elimination Chamber. He says that after he wins tonight, he will be his 10th Elimination Chamber match, most out of any wrestler. In comes Aleister Black with Selena. He tells Orton that they just said goodbye to two of the greatest, and T is good to still have Orton, or one part of him. Black and Zelina walk away. Commercial break. Out comes Kit Wilson to the ring. He says Kit Wilson is the topic. Out comes Kit Wilson to the ring. He says Kit Wilson is the topic. He says he was at the Royal Rumble and he was disgusted with him. He says 30 chauvinistic pigs, toxic, ugly meatheads, toxic, the sweating, grunting, toxic, the temper tantrums, toxic, and all of them trying to battle out to see who was the biggest alpha. That's why they doesn't want him in the match. He's a true man who can handle a man who has confidence in his emotions, a man who moisturizes, a man who listens. He says they can't handle a man who moves his hips like this. Wilson begins to move his hips. He says they are all toxic, but it's not about them. He challenges anyone who was in the Rumble to face the man who really defined masculinity. He says he is the reason, he is the tonic to toxic masculinity. His name is Kit Wilson. Lights go out and Oval Family's music hits. Oval Family versus Kit Wilson. The bell rings and we're underway. Wilson says he is a feminist and Oval Family is a problem. He is toxic. Oval Family with a chop to the chest followed by a running elbow to the face. He lifts Wilson and throws him onto the mat. Oval Family with a power bomb, he goes to cover and gets a pin. Winner, Oval Family. We cut to the back to see R-Truth and Damian Priest watching Oval Family. R-Truth is dancing like Oval Family. He asked Priest if he saw Oval Family in the Rumble. It says Oval Family didn't touch one single ball and he got into the Rumble. Drew walks in and bumps into R-Truth. Drew looks at R-Truth, but Priest stops him. Priest goes face to face with Drew and he tells him Drew has enough problems. Thinks he wants another one. Drew hits and he out comes to the ring. Drew grabs the microphone and in comes Jacob Fatu. And he hits Drew with the right hands. Fatu with a running hip attack in the corner. Drew gets to his feet, but Fatu clotheslines him to the outside of the ring. Fatu with a suicide dive. Out come WWE officials, but Fatu throws them into the steel steps. Drew gets behind the barricade, but Fatu with the right hand. WWE officials stop Fatu, and Drew runs away. Back from commercial break. Back from commercial. Nick Aldis is with Jacob Fatu. He kicks Fatu out of the arena. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tama Tonga with Tonga Leo and JC Mateo. The bell rings and are underway. Nakamura kicks onto Tama Tonga. Nakamura to the ropes, but Tama Tonga slams Nakamura onto the mat. Nakamura rolls to the outside of the ring. Nakamura is faced with Jason Mattel. Out comes Tama Tonga and he slams Nakamura face first onto the announce table. He places Nakamura on the announce table. Tama Tonga climbs to the barricade, jumps, and landing an elbow onto Nakamura. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Nakamura with a kick to the face. Nakamura with a kick side of the head. Tama Tonga in the corner, but Nakamura seats him second rope and lands on a German suplex. Lands on a release German suplex. Nakamura climbs to the second rope and lands on a knee to the face and goes for a cover, but Tama Tonga kicks out. Nakamura grabs Tama Tonga, but Tama Tonga elbows to the face. Tama Tonga with a reverse neck breaker. Tama Tonga with a splash in the corner and slams Nakamura onto the mat. Goes for a cover, but Nakamura kicks out. Tama Tonga grabs Nakamura, but Nakamura slams Tama Tonga face first onto the mat. Tama Tonga rolls to the outside of the ring. Nakamura with a baseball slide onto Jason Mateo. Tama Tonga gets back in the ring. And Nakamura gets in the ring. Tama Tonga with a jumping DT. Tama Tonga lifts Nakamura, but Nakamura with elbows. Nakamura get with a back suplex. Okay, it's 11:56 right now. Both men with right hands. Nakamura with a knee to the face, he lifts. Nakamura, he lifts Tama Tonga up on his shoulders. He lands on a modified motion screwdriver. Nakamura goes for a Kinshasa, but Jason Mateo distracts the referee. Tama Tonga grabs Nakamura by the leg, and Tama Tonga with a cutthroat. Tama Tonga with a cutthroat. Another cutthroat. He goes for cover and gets the pin. Winner Tama Tonga. You cut backstage to see Motion Machine Guns with Fraxium. In come Jordan Grace. She tells him to look what they did to Johnny Gargano. You see Gargano laying down. She tells him that they don't know what it meant to Gargano to lose his mask. Axiom tells her that was his mask, and they walk away. That's true. Lorraine tells the Motor Machine Guns that they know him for a long time to talk to him. They tell him that they remember when he turned his back on them, costing him. They walk away, and Lorraine tries to get Gargano back to his feet. Yeah, Motor Machine Guns got buried by Gargano and Ciampa. We cut to Kathy Kelly with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Io tells her that they put up a good match, but these are their titles. Rhea says they are up on the road to WrestleMania and they don't plan on losing the titles. Rhea says she will take this momentum to Raw for Elimination Chamber qualifier. In come Nia, My Whole Jax, and Lash Legend. Nia tells Rhea that a spot in the Elimination Chamber will be wasted on her. It should have been Lash. Yeah. Rhea says they whine. Lash cuts her off. Yeah, she doesn't like being insulted. Nia tells them that they are luck. They were not in the ring with them tonight because they would be champions. Nia says they will be ducking them, and they will talk to Nick Aldis. Nia and Lash Legend walk away. We see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walk in, look at them, and leave. $11:59 right now. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Kit Wilson is walking backstage. He sees Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews. He tells Matt that it is all his fault. Toxic Masculinity was out before Matt came back. Matt tells him that if he wants to step up, he is always ready. Wilson says he needs a warm bath and walks away. Nick Aldis is in the ring and he welcomes the 2026 Royal Rumble winner, Liv Morgan, to the ring. Out comes Raquel Rodriguez. Liv says they are now in the presence of the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time. Doesn't deserve it. She's been champion too many times. Liv says she is not just the greatest Royal winner of all time. She is the hottest, and smartest, and funniest, most charismatic. most talented and most iconic woman in history of WWE. Liv says that comes with great power, a lot of power, and with great power comes with great responsibility. Please, you got that copied out from Spider-Man. Liv says she has a big decision to make, and not much time to make it. She can choose to face Stephanie McCare for the Raw Women's World Title, or she can choose to face Jade Cargill for the SmackDown Women's Title. She says she's been thinking really long, hard about it. She says she has to be honest. WrestleMania is not the only thing that's been on her mind. There's a huge elephant in the room that she would like to talk about. Liv looks at Raquel and begins to talk, but Raquel grabs the microphone and says no. Raquel says she wants to address the elephant in the room. Lights turn black, and out comes Jade Cargill. Cargill gets in the ring and tells Liv that she doesn't care that she won the title. She won the Royal Rumble. She says if Liv chooses her, she will beat her ass at WrestleMania 42 Vegas. She asks Raquel what is she looking at. Liv begins to laugh and tells Cargill that she is funny. Liv tells her if she was Cargill, she would watch what she says. Oh, a little tone of voice, perhaps? Because she can choose Stephanie at WrestleMania and let Raquel humble her to become champion. Out comes Jordynne Grace, and she congratulates Liv, but she can get the champion to defend the title. She would face in Vegas. Liv begins to laugh. She tells Grace that she knows she is but she doesn't know who she thinks she is. Liv says she is the greatest Royal Rumble winner. Jade and Grace tell her to shut up, bitch, at the same time. So all this breaks up. He tells Liv that one condition for her being on SmackDown, if she is available to talk and she's available to fight, she says they will do Liv and Raquel against Jade and Grace. Wow, these two can't get along. Jade and Grace can get along. It's crazy. Here we go. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Jade the heel, and Jordynne Grace the babyface. The referee comes out and the bell rings the bell. Grace throws Liv to the outside and Jade with a spine buster onto Raquel. We went to commercial break. Back from commercial, Rodriguez with a power slam onto Grace. She goes for the cover. Grace kicks out. Rodriguez with a back suplex. Rodriguez climbs to the second rope and goes for a cross-street splash, but Grace moves out of the way. Liv is tagged in and she lands on a suplex. Liv with a suplex. With another suplex. She goes for the third, but Grace with a suplex. Grace with a clothesline followed by a body slam. Grace goes for the cover, but Rodriguez breaks it up. Grace with a back elbow onto Rodriguez. She goes for the goal. She throws her onto the outside of the ring. Grace lifts up on her shoulders, but Liv lands on her feet and lands the double knees. Rodriguez is tagged in and she runs, hitting Jade off the ring apron. Jade gets back in the ring and she goes for a super kick onto Rodriguez. She moves and Jade kicks Grace. Rodriguez goes for a big boot onto Jade, but she moves out of the way, and Rodriguez big boots Liv. In comes Grace from behind. She pushes Rodriguez onto Jade, and she rolls Rodriguez up, getting the pin. Okay, it's 12:04 in that right now. It's February 7th. Let's finish it from yesterday. Winners: Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace. Zayn was backstage and stopped by Rey Fenix. He is stopped by Trick Williams. He says that Zayn is someone who cannot get the job done. He says Zayn is Charles Barkley and he is Michael Jordan. Phoenix tells Williams that he has a big mouth and he keeps talking, he will knock his teeth out. Williams tells him anytime, anywhere, he walks away. Phoenix leaves and Zayn looks down. Commercial break. Back from commercial break, Nick Aldis with Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace says that Jade will defend their title against Jade Grace next week on SmackDown. Wow, can't they just save this fight for WrestleMania last night? I mean, wow. Commercial break. Back from commercial break, Nick Gauls with Jade Cargill and Jordan Gray. Okay, hold on, I just said that right. Out comes Drew, who says that Cody Rhodes and Jake Alfredo should be banned. He says he crushed Zayn, and that will happen to anyone who gets in the ring with Drew McIntyre. Please, who's he think he is? He says on Raw they try to put him down and SmackDown down. He says this man has been through hell to get this title. He will never quit when times get tough. He will never go part-time, and he didn't leave when the world shut down. He says the San Martinos, the Hogans, the Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, did not Dusty Rhodes or Triple H, Stone Cold's, The Rock. If you said this was not the #1 title, he calls you a liar. He knows why Roman picked Punk. He is a 280-pound war machine, and not in the other one. And on the other one, you have a tattooed sociopath who is also always far away from retiring. He runs without his family, who would beat Roman while they are trying to our farm. Give me a break. It stinks. He has the entire roster fighting to face him, the real champion, the best in the world in the main event of WrestleMania. Trick Williams comes out and says he thought he would come out and watch the main event and watch the qualifying match, and it will hit him that Drew is worried about all of the wrong things. About Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Jake Fatu, he tells him that he needs to be worried about the future of this business. He tells Trick Williams is the man who will take him off the title at WrestleMania. Drew says he stepped up and Trick stepped up. Drew said stepped up and Trick stepped up. Drew tells him. Drew said he stepped up and Trick stepped up. Drew tells him to learn to walk before he runs. If he does it again, he'll stick those lemon pepper steppers where the sun doesn't shine. Then we go to commercial break. Soul Silk is walking backstage and he's stopped by Kathy Kelly. He asks her if he's seen the MFTs, and he's talking. We see the Y6 logo flash on screen. He tells him she hasn't seen them. Solo grabs the lantern and walks to the ring. Saw a little interruption there. Out comes Aleister Black with Selena. Randy Orton comes down to the ring. Elimination qualifying match. Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa versus Aleister Black. The bell rings are underway. Orton and Solo to the outside of the ring. Solo throws Orton into the ring post. Black climbs to the top rope and lands on a moonsault. Solo onto Solo. Black with a big boot onto Orton. And go to commercial break. Back from commercial. Black with kicks onto Orton in the corner. Black to the ropes with Solo drags him to the outside of the ring and he throws Black into the barricade. Trick is watching at ringside and Solo looks at him. Solo gets back into the ring and hits Orton with a right hand. Orton gets up and lands on a clothesline. Orton goes for a power slam, but Solo hangs on the top rope. Black with a kick onto the Orton. Solo with a pop up. Small drop onto Black and goes for cover and Black kicks out. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Orton with a suplex Black off the top rope. Solo with a splash off the top rope. Orton and goes for a cover, but Orton kicks out. Solo and Black on with right hands, but Solo gets Black into the corner. Solo goes for a running hip attack, but Black moves out of the way. Orton gets in the ring and snap slams him back. Slams Black. Orton gets Solo, who is on the ring apron, but Solo slides out to the outside and rolls to the outside. Orton with a right hand and he slams Solo onto the announce table. Black on the outside with Orton with a poke to the eyes. Orton slams Black onto the announce table. Orton throws Solo back into the ring. He gets back in the ring. Solo gets in the ring apron and Solo with a dripping DDT. In comes Black, who hits Orton with a big boot. Solo with a spinning Solo onto Black. He goes for a cover, but Black kicks out. Solo goes for a Samoan spike, but Black moves out of the way. Black with a knee followed by a German suplex. He goes for cover, but Solo kicks out. Black with a running knee to the face. He goes for cover, but Solo kicks out. Orton gets in the ring and goes for an RKO, but Black rolls him up. Orton kicks out and Black with an X knee to the face. Black goes for a Black mass. Orton moves out of the way and lands on the RKO. Black rolls out of the ring. Orton gets up and Solo goes for a small spike. Orton gets one with his back to Solo, lands the RKO. He goes for cover and gets the pin. Winner, Randy Orton. He celebrates and Smackdown goes off the air. Man, bad show last night. I mean, Black really got buried last night. And all I can say is that it was just how this gonna try for Elimination Chamber. Hopefully somehow it's just how it's gonna look for Elimination Chamber. I mean, Black really got buried last night, and really makes no sense for a heel to team up with a babyface like Jay Cargill's the heel, Jordan Grace the babyface team up. It really doesn't make sense. But make no mistake about it. Now, why in the world they couldn't save that the match for them for the match between Grace versus Cargill for the WWE title, for the SmackDown Women's title for next Friday on SmackDown. Save it for like WrestleMania in Vegas, WrestleMania 42 Vegas. Just crazy. I don't know how it's gonna look in 4 weeks for Elimination Chamber 2026. Just garbage. Well, that will do it for my review. All I know it's time for terrible. It was somewhat good last night. The Black got buried, but somewhat wasn't that good. Let's go to last Thursday, February the 5th, my wrestling history and birthdays. Okay, last Thursday was a happy 81st birthday. 80 no let's see. Last Thursday was a happy 40th birthday to Madison Rain. Felipe Ham Lee, more like an Asian Mexican wrestler. He would have been he would have been 94 last Thursday. He died on March 2nd, 2011. Elaine Eaton, Canadian wrestler. He would have been 117 last Thursday. He was born in Vancouver, British Columbia. He died on November 15th, 1987. He was 77 when he died. Let's see. Let's see. February 5th, 1996. In the Monday Night Wars between WWE Monday Night Raw and WCW Nitro. On Monday Night Raw, two dudes with attitude, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, defeated the British Bulldogs Yokozuna with Jim Cornette by countout. 1-3 Kid with Ted DiBiase defeated Hakushi. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker ended no contest, retained the WWE title. Show included segments included Jim Cornette and Clarence Mason during the Sue WWE Vader what was reinstated. Featured comments from Gorilla Monsoon on choosing Roddy Piper as his temporary replacement, as well as the thought of having Vader reinstated. Included a second segment of Billionaire Ted at a press conference featuring a closing segment which an ad print was shown which was set to run in major newspapers claiming Ted Turner was wasting millions of stockholders in his personal vendetta against WWE, which then called the WWF World Wrestling Federation. Yeah, under Diesel knows Kevin Nash ruined a good match, and Diesel led to him turning heel. Then on WCW Monday, this took place on Monday Night Raw at the Civic Auditorium in Stockton, California, and on Monday Nitro on TNT. Monday Nitro at the Lakeland St. Jenkins Arena. Looking forward to before Super Bowl 6. Macho Man Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth Woman defeat Chris Benoit to DQ to retain the WCW World title. Till Woman turns his back on Randy Savage, was revealed that Woman has been working with Flair and Arn Anderson the whole time. And the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman defeated Dungeon of Doom, Hugh Morris, and Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan with Jimmy Hart by DQ. Ric Flair Woman defeated Marcus Alexander and Barrow until Randy Savage came out and trying to get his hands on Flair for what he did. Lex Luger and Sting defeated the World Warrior Hawk and Animal to retain the WCW World Tag Team Championship. Then 2006 Super Bowl and Super Bowl for Super Bowl 40. The Seattle the Pittsburgh friend of I know a friend of mine likes remembers this from Pittsburgh. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, his team Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Seattle Seahawks 21-10 to become the Super Bowl 40 champions. See, hold on. See what else. Now, 2016. Couple movies released in theaters. Hail Caesar, starring George Clooney, Josh Brolin, Ray Fiennes, Jonah Hill, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Channing Tatum. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, horror comedy starring Lily James and Sam Riley, Jack Houston, and Lena Headey. Detroit, starring Benjamin Walker and Teresa Palmer, Maggie Grace, and Alexander Daddario. Tom Wilkinson was released. Now let's go to yesterday, February the 6th. Yesterday was a happy 46th birthday to Connor. Of the Ascension Tag Team Partner, Lunger Blaze, Medusa, Deborah Maselli, she turns 63 yesterday. Robert Townsend, my favorite acting comedian, he turns 59 yesterday. And let's see, in 1996 on ECW Hardcore TV, welterweight champion Rey Mysterio defeated Juventud Guerrero. The Eliminators defeated ECW World Tag Team Champions Cactus Jack and Michael Whitwick. And this was you may know this was Cactus Jack's last WCW because he had to deal with with Mick Foley. He had to go to WWE. He had to go to WWE, which was then called the World Wrestling Federation. But he could later become this Mankind. Let's see what let's see Monday Night Raw 2006, February 5th, 2006. February 6th. Yeah. Took place at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, where WCW's rival promotion WCW took place. Chris Masters defeated Kane in a Road to WrestleMania tournament first round match. Aston Machado defeated Mickey James with special referee Trish Stratus. And it was a fast count, but Trish did the right thing because Mickey James went way out hard. And Trish backstage segment, Mickey James tells Trish, I know how much you feel about me and stuff. And Trish tells her she says she's a very proud person, but she's gonna go date with her boyfriend. Trish defeated, after Triple H defeated Ric Flair in a Road to WrestleMania tournament first round match. Big Show defeated Shelton Benjamin in a Road to WrestleMania tournament first round match. RVD defeated Carlito in a Road to WrestleMania tournament first round match. John Cena and Maria defeated Edge and Lita. And we saw the return of Mick Foley. And John Cena brought him back, and we saw the return of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And that's it. That'll do it for my review. Talking very long. The Godfather Soldier and Slimming. I'm gonna close out something for all of you. As the late chat show said, just so Chud Trickers dance like Lionel Richie, dance like James Brown. Like to get in the hot tub when we sweat, then when we dry, when we wet. Referring to A. Murphy doing an impression of James Brown, Saturday Night Live back in the 80s, and I grew up in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. But I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night Live when I was little. I'm gonna close out the show with the song see what I'm gonna close out with the song Sister Golden Hill by America. So hope so far you good night. And I'm out here. Peace.
But I tried to make it.